Alright, what's going on, guys? So, I'm sure everybody knows what Kleenex is, right? It's a brand of tissues. It's like the main brand of tissues, and everybody's used a fucking tissue before, to clean up whatever substances you may have coming out of your body, whatever that is. We don't have to get into the details, but recently, Kleenex has been in a little bit of controversy due to their name, because apparently people have been getting very offended. Now, you might be thinking, if you're a normal person, like, how the fuck do you get offended over a tissue? Well, that's a good question, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you right here. Hi, at Kleenex UK. My 4-year-old son asked me what was written here. Then he asked, why are they called man size? Can girls, boys, and mummies use them? I said, I don't know. And yes, of course. He suggests you should call them very large tissues. It is 2018. I like how she puts at the end, it is 2018. I don't give a fuck if it was 3018. There should be no point in human history where it is acceptable to get offended over a box of fucking tissues. But she's not done yet. She has to send out another tweet as well. So, at Kleenex UK, could you help me tell my son why they're still called man size? And will you consider renaming them to extra large tissues, or do women and children not need bigger tissues? Now, first of all, I want to point something out before we even get into the issue. Have you guys always noticed that, like, almost every single time we see these tweets or these scenarios play out, it's always the same thing. It's always like, my 4-year-old son just asked me, my 6-year-old daughter just questioned me about this, my 2-year-old non-binary child just asked me this question. Like, your kid didn't say nothing, alright? You don't gotta make up this story about your fucking 4-year-old son's concerns about gender equality. Your son is 4 years old. He doesn't give a fuck. Let's be real here. We've all been 4-year-old children at one point in our lives. And guess what? None of us gave a fuck about genders. The kid don't even know how his own dick works yet. He ain't a gender activist. I just hate how these people like make up these fake stories about how their child is asking some stupid fucking gender related question. Like, I know they're doing it to like make their argument seem stronger, I guess, because like nobody's gonna attack a child, right? But we're not stupid, man. We know you made this shit up, so quit trying to sit there hiding behind your kid when in reality you're the one who has a problem, not your 4-year-old son. Now, with that out of the way, second of all, this whole thing is not even offensive in the first place. It actually makes a lot of sense to call it man size. Now, I will say, I don't think that's a great name or anything. Like, sure, they could have just called it extra large or whatever to begin with. In most cases, for most things in the world, they don't call them man size. Like, you go from large to extra large or whatever, you small, medium, large, extra large, simple, right? It's very easy. So, I do think the name is stupid that it is man size, sure. However, it is not offensive, and it actually makes a lot of sense, because if you aren't retarded, you know that typically men are actually bigger than women. I mean, everyone knows that, but just in case we got anyone out there that is trying to argue, let's just back it up with some facts here. So, the average male is 5'9.5", 196 pounds, and the average female is 5'4", 166 pounds. So, clearly, on average, men are significantly larger than women. So therefore, if we apply some simple logic here, it does make sense to name a larger tissue man size, because men are bigger than women. There's nothing offensive about it. Once again, I don't think it's a great name, it is kind of a stupid name. However, there's nothing wrong with it. But regardless, you gotta remember, it is 2018, just as she wrote in the original tweet. It is 2018, so the cucks will always win, and that's just how it is, because Kleenex Kleenex has actually decided to change the name. Kleenex has binned its man-size branding after some customers complained it was sexist. After 60 years, the tissue boxes will be renamed extra large in response to criticism from customers and feminist campaigners. Kimberly-Clark, which owns Kleenex, said it succumbed to growing public demand to change the name, despite not itself believing that the man-size branding was sexist. Exactly. Even the company that owns Kleenex, they said, yeah, we'll change the name just because you idiots are crying about it, but we still don't agree that the name itself is sexist. And that's exactly kind of where I stand on it as well. Like, sure, if you guys are really gonna cry about it, okay, we'll change the fucking name, but not because there's anything wrong with the name, just so you fucking idiots will stop crying. That is the only reason. So there you go, I guess, all the feminists out there in the world that were complaining about this, or any other losers that gave a fuck about this. You got what you wanted. I'm sure your life is so much better now. You know, I just couldn't imagine the trauma that you must have been going through. Every time you reached for one of these extra large tissues, you had to read the word man size on the box. Like, I'm sure you have PTSD from this, you know, very traumatic experience. And it seems like you cry quite a bit, so I'm sure you were getting these tissues all the time, because, you know, every time I fucking see you, you're crying. So hopefully now you can move on with this and put these hard times behind you, and maybe, just maybe, you know, hear me out here, let's maybe focus on something in life that's a little bit more important than tissues. I don't know, you know, that's not a main focus of my life, but I guess for other people it might be. But probably not, because we kind of know how these people are, and now that they've, you know, fixed this problem, they're just gonna move on to the next fucking retarded thing to complain about, and it's really a never-ending cycle. There's always gonna be something for them to complain about, and I couldn't even give you a prediction on what it's gonna be, because my brain just doesn't work that way. Like, I'm not programmed to be offended by every little thing, so, you know, there's probably something offensive that I'm looking at every single day that, you know, they're gonna start crying about pretty soon that I never even thought of as offensive, because, you know, I'm not a fucking weirdo. But anyways, that's it for the video. A new day, a new thing to get offended by. You know, it is 2018, guys, so, you know, I guess we just gotta get used to it. But thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like rating if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not already, follow me on Twitter, links in the description down below. Other than that, have a good day, and peace out.
I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right. Yeah, I can only say that